Hi guys, and welcome to another video. Every time I go to the doctor, I'm trying to make a video of what happened at the appointment so I can just kind of keep track of everything. I didn't get to do this with Christopher, unfortunately, so I said definitely the next time I would track what was going on each appointment, give pregnancy updates and things like that. So here we are. So this was my third appointment. I went alone this time, just because it was just scheduling. It was just easier for me to go by myself. But everything was fine. I did FaceTime Wylie while I was there. They did an ultrasound. So the ultrasound was a little rough for me because the baby's location was just very weird. The baby was like in my hip, and I'm just like thinking, you can't carry any lower than in your hip, literally in my hip bone. And it was hard for them to kind of get everything. So one of the techs was getting certified, and she couldn't get she was trying to go through all of these like check marks, check all these boxes of different positions and things. And because of where the baby was, she could not finish. And so it was like a 35 minute ultrasound. It was just very long because the baby would not come out of that little pocket in my hip. And I was like, this is definitely another boy. And it was so funny because the baby was like trying to fight. Like it was like punching at the ultrasound tech. It was funny because they were like, oh my gosh. I was like, yeah, I think the baby wants you to leave it alone. So yeah, it was just a little different because they were just like rocking, trying, they kept rolling me over to my side. Just like, it was just a lot because the baby was like in this little part of my hip. And I was just like, wow, I feel really big for no reason if you just sitting in that one spot, but yet my stomach is so big up over here. But anyways, everything worked out fine. The baby was healthy, just decided to be stubborn for the moment. And, was like sucking on its thumb and stuff, or putting its hand up to its mouth and stuff. And so it was just really funny. But, the appointment overall was fine. With my doctor, the sit-down portion, we talked about, again, me. I saw a different doctor this time, and so she was saying that she was kind of confused as to why they didn't decide to do the early glucose test for me. And so I explained to her, well, I lost a lot of weight since my last pregnancy, and then also everything ended up being fine last time. And then just basically telling her that me and the other doctor talked about it, and we just decided that it wasn't necessary to do. And she was like, okay, that makes a lot more sense. And so I was like, okay. So again, we did not do early glucose testing, which is not something I did in my last pregnancy anyway, but they were just I guess concerned maybe because of my race and things like that, but I don't know. Anyways, we're good to go. What else happened? Oh, so after that, we spent a lot of time discussing VBAC. So she brought it up. The doctor brought it up. And she was like, well, you're a candidate. And, I was just like blown away because I was like, wait, what? Because every other doctor has pretty much said, well, not that I've been to too many appointments, but the last two appointments have been basically confirming that no, I should not have a VBAC, that I should have another C-section, a scheduled C-section this time, and things like that. And so we basically just went down what happened at my last delivery, and she was like, oh, well, yeah, I mean, that was like a train wreck, disaster, like 1 in a million type situation. And so she was like, don't, basically don't bank on, if I do have another C-section, my experience being the way that it was, nor should I bank on if I have a vaginal birth that it would be terrible. So, all in all, what happened was, I don't know if I've ever explained this, what happened was that I was leaking my amniotic fluid for maybe like a month, and I did not know because I didn't know. I thought I was peeing on myself, honestly. So I didn't think much of it because I'm like, I'm really big and pregnant. I'm probably just peeing a little bit. It wasn't like a big water like gush like in the movies. So I'm just thinking, you know, I'm peeing on myself a little bit at a time. No biggie, whatever. It happens. You're pregnant. So that's what was happening. So I went to my last appointment. I think I was like 39 weeks and some change or something like that. I don't remember, guys, but I was like 38, 39 weeks. Went to the appointment and I told her about the leaking because it had started getting a little bit like more often. I was like, why am I peeing on myself like every day? And she was like, I don't know. So she did a ultrasound and she was like, oh, that's actually your like amniotic fluid that's leaking. And yeah, you're going to stay here and you're going to actually be induced and you're going to have the baby soon because they need that fluid. And if you're running out of it, you know, we either got to try to put something back in or whatever. I don't know. She was just pushing for delivery because I was basically at the end of my pregnancy anyway. So yes, with that being said, because we don't know exactly how long my water had been broken, we don't know exactly how long my water had been broken. Basically I was open up and for, like I said, weeks at least. And so that caused me to develop an infection. Between that and between 3 days of laboring where they put me, they really like, they induced me. And so for 3 days I was laboring. So between being slightly open for weeks and then being completely open because of medical assistance, I developed this infection. And so that had a lot to do with why I had to have an emergency C-section, why I was sick, why Christopher, you know, his heart rate and things were fluctuating. And so she was like, yeah, you know, the infection is probably why I had a hard recovery from my C-section. What else did she say? Sorry, I have notes, but not great ones. So yeah, she was like, you know, you were sick and then you had this surgery and then you had, you know, all these changes going on hormonally, you know, from just having a baby and things like that. And so she was like, it's just a lot that was going on with your body. And so, because like even after I left the hospital with Wylie and Christopher, I had to go back within 24 hours and be readmitted to the hospital again, just because my fever would not come down. And so, yeah, she was like, that's basically all because of the infection. So this time around, she was like, because she asked how big Christopher was, he was 6 pounds 7 ounces at birth. And so she was like, I don't see why anybody who has a typical labor wouldn't be able to push out a 6-pound baby. And so she was like pushing for me to have a VBAC or at least consider it. And so I don't know, I'm like, go with what you know, just have a C-section, pick the baby's birthday, you go in, everything's all planned out. The planner in me says go C-section. I don't know what the healing is like when you risk a vaginal birth, you risk tearing, and they said they don't do episiotomies. So I guess that's a good thing. And if you tear, you tear versus them just cutting you. I don't know. And then like, I don't know what using the bathroom is like after a vaginal birth. I just know that none of my lady parts were bothered with when I had a C-section, and everything was right and in its rightful place when we were done having this child. So that's where, I don't know, we kind of went back and forth. I was like, I don't know. And she was just like, just take your time and think about it. And I was like, okay. So as of today, I am open-minded. It's been a couple of weeks that I've had to think about it. So I'm open-minded about a VBAC. I don't know though. We'll see what happens. if we get to the end and we're just like schedule a C-section, I think scheduling a C-section for a second child is a good idea. Also, like I said, because of planning purposes. Like if I go into labor in the middle of the day and Christopher's at school and it's just like this whole fiasco of trying to get everything, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like a whole thing versus being like, hey, we're going to take this baby out on this day at this time. Then Christopher has been dropped off to his designated babysitter for the time. And then his bags, we have everything, all planned out. So that's where my mind is. I'm fluctuating back and forth between the idea because with the VBAC, it's got to happen naturally. You don't know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen, where you're going to be at, any of that. And so, I don't know. We shall see. But she was really advocating for me giving it a try if that was my desire. That's what she said. If you want to. So, I'm going to continue to think about it. Wylie doesn't care. He has no input. He doesn't. I asked him. He was like, doesn't matter to me. I don't have to do anything but be there. And I'm like, that's true. So, I don't know. And especially because of the due date, I'm like, should we pick it? Because I could make it the day that is super special to me and Wylie. But then again, it's like, do you want to share that special day with your child's birthday every year? Because, I don't know. So maybe I don't know. We're back at square one of having no answer again. So yeah, that was basically it. Everything's fine. The baby's fine. The baby's healthy. Baby's growing. Baby is stubborn. I think Wylie does as well. Think the baby is a boy, another boy. And I will do a first trimester update for you guys now that I'm in my second trimester. And I'm going to use my notes. So yes. Since this video, I might let them come out the same week. This video, I won't do, obviously I'm in the car, I can't really show y'all much of a bump shot. But I would do a bump shot in the first trimester update, and I might put them out on the same week. So that is my third OB appointment update, and yeah. We don't know what's gonna happen at this point, but we still have time until we don't have time anymore. So yes. But that is all. I'm gonna get out the car now, and I think the package is here for me. So bye guys.